The woman stumbles through snow that hasn't decided whether to fall or freeze. Her dress, thin cotton meant for summer, clings to her shoulders. Blood spots the hem. One shoe gone 3 miles back. She doesn't know where she's running to, only what she's running from. The cold doesn't hurt anymore. That worries her, distantly, the way everything worries her now, from behind thick glass. Her feet keep moving because stopping means thinking. Thinking means the hotel room, the locked door, his hands. She said no. She said it clearly. The wind picks up. She wraps her arms around herself, feels ribs too prominent beneath frozen fabric. When did she last eat? Yesterday. The day before. Time moves strangely when you're disappearing. Through the white curtain ahead, a light flickers, warm, gold against the blue emptiness. She moves toward it without deciding to, the way animals move toward warmth when winter comes. The cabin materializes slowly, small, weathered. Smoke rises from the chimney in a straight gray line. She reaches the porch, and her knees give out. The wood is rough under her palms. She should knock. The door opens. A man fills the frame, not young, 50 maybe, with a face carved by work and weather. Gray threads his dark hair. His eyes move over her, the torn dress, the missing shoe, the way she's folded in on herself like paper. He doesn't ask questions. "You're freezing," he says. His voice is low, careful, like speaking to something wild. He steps back. "Come in." She can't move. Every muscle has locked. He sees this. Slowly, he removes his coat, heavy canvas lined with wool, and sets it on the porch beside her. Then he retreats into the cabin, leaving the door open, leaving the choice to her. The coat still holds his warmth. She stares at it for a long time before her shaking hands reach out. Inside, he's building up the fire. His back is to her, giving her space, giving her the door. The cabin is one room, bed in the corner, table, stove, shelves lined with tin cans and coffee. Clean, spare. A man's space with no softness except the quilt on the bed, worn calico and wedding ring pattern. Someone else made that, long ago. "There's coffee," he says, still not turning. "Hot water, if you want to wash." She stands just inside the threshold, door still open behind her. Snow blows across her feet. He finally turns, keeps his distance. "I'm going to check the horses. Give you some privacy. There's a lock on the door." He nods toward the bolt. "Use it if you want." Then he's gone, pulling the door shut behind him. She's alone with the fire and the silence and the lock. Her hand reaches for it, stops, reaches again. 3 days pass before she speaks more than necessary words. He learns her name is Sarah. She doesn't ask for his. He gives it anyway, Daniel, and watches her file it away, like something she might need later for testimony. She sleeps in his bed. He takes the floor without discussion, rolls his blanket near the stove, where the draft comes under the door. She wakes screaming twice that first night. He doesn't move from his bedroll, just speaks low into the darkness. "You're safe here, just the wind, just the house settling." The third time she wakes gasping. He says nothing, lets the silence hold her instead. Mornings, he's up before dawn, makes coffee, leaves a cup on the table, where steam curls upward like prayer. Then he goes out to the barn, the horses, the fences that always need mending, gives her the cabin to herself for an hour. When he returns, the cup is empty, and she's washed it, set it carefully by the basin. Small courtesies, the language they speak. On the 4th day, she's standing when he comes in, not sitting hunched at the table, not curled on the bed, standing at the window, looking out at the white expanse where nothing moves but wind. "Snow's stopping," he says. "Yes." He hangs his coat, beats snow from his boots. She's wearing clothes he found in a trunk. His wife's things, kept for a reason he doesn't examine. The dress fits poorly, too short in the arms, but it's wool and whole. "I can take you to town," he says carefully. "When the road's clear, or to the next ranch. The Hendersons have a daughter about your age." She's quiet for a long time. "What would I tell them?" "Whatever you want." "Would they believe me?" He measures his words like flour for bread, exact portions. "Some would." "And the others?" "Others never believe women," he says. "That's not new." She turns from the window. Her face is still swollen on one side, purple fading to green. "You believed me." "I saw you. You didn't ask what I did to deserve it." "My mother said I should have been more careful. Shouldn't have taken work in a hotel. Shouldn't have trusted—" Her voice fractures. "Your mother wasn't there." He keeps his back to her, lets her have this moment without witness. And being careful is just another way of saying a woman should make herself small enough to avoid notice. That's not living. That's just slow dying. Silence stretches. The fire pops. "My wife used to say that," he continues quieter now. "Before she passed. Said the world asked women to be ghosts so men could feel like giants." She sounds wise. She was. He finally turns. "She'd have liked you. Would have brought you tea with honey and told you stories until you remembered how to laugh." Sarah's hand moves to her throat, unconscious. "I don't remember that." Laughing. "You will." He sets his cup down. "I'm riding out to check the north fence. There's stew on the stove. Books on the shelf if you want them. Or you can rest." He's at the door when she speaks. "Daniel." He stops. "Thank you." He nods once and goes out into the white. Town comes to them in the form of Reverend Hayes and his wife Martha, appearing 2 weeks later when the roads finally clear. Sarah is in the barn when they arrive, mucking stalls because stillness has become unbearable. She's stronger now. Eats 2 meals a day. Sleeps through most nights. Her hands have calluses forming where blisters used to be. She hears the wagon. Freezes. Through the barn slats she sees them, the Reverend's black coat, Martha's heavy cloak. Sees Daniel step out to meet them. Sees the way his shoulders set, like a man preparing for weather. Their voices carry in the cold air. "Daniel." The Reverend's tone holds that particular gentleness men use when delivering judgment. "We heard you're keeping company." "I'm keeping no one. I gave shelter." "There's talk," Martha says. Not unkind, but firm. "About the girl from the hotel. About what happened. About her being here." Sarah's fingers tighten on the pitchfork handle. "Talk is cheap," Daniel says. "Reputation isn't." The Reverend shifts his weight. "You're a good man, Daniel. We know that. But a single woman under your roof, people will draw conclusions. About her character. About yours. Let them draw." "Think of her future," Martha presses. "What marriage prospects she'll have after—" "After what?" Daniel's voice goes hard. "After she was attacked? After she survived? That should damage her prospects?" "You know how the world works." "I know how it works," he says, quiet now, dangerous. "Doesn't mean I have to help it work that way." A pause. Sarah watches through the gaps, sees the Reverend exchange glances with his wife. "We could take her," Martha offers. "We have the room. It would be more proper. And perhaps in time, people would forget—" "No." The word drops like a stone in still water. "Daniel?" She stays as long as she wants, leaves when she chooses. That's the end of it. But it isn't. Sarah sees that in the Reverend's expression, in the way Martha's mouth thins. They leave with backwards glances, with promises to pray, with concern that feels like condemnation wrapped in lace. Daniel stands in the yard long after their wagon disappears. Sarah emerges from the barn, slowly, pitchfork still in hand. "You should have let them take me," she says. He turns. "You want to go? I'm destroying your reputation." "I don't recall asking for your help with that." He moves toward the cabin, stops. "You think I care what they believe about me?" "You should." "Why?" He faces her fully now. "So I can be welcomed at Sunday dinners? So I can hear them whisper about how tragic it is I never remarried? I buried my wife 6 years ago. In that time, they've brought me 3 different women to court, women who simpered and agreed with every word, and looked at this place like it was a prize to be won." His voice drops. "You're the first person in 6 years who's treated me like a man instead of a project, who works without being asked, who doesn't fill silence with meaningless chatter. You think I'll trade that for their approval?" Sarah's throat tightens. "I can't stay forever. No one's asking you to." He's closer now, but still careful of distance. "But you don't leave because of them. You leave when you're ready, when you have somewhere to go, when you want to. And if I never want to?" The question hangs between them like frost. "Then, I guess you stay." He says it's simple, like commenting on weather. "I'll build a second room come spring. Make it proper, if that's what worries you." "It doesn't." "Good." He nods toward the barn. "Those stalls done?" "Nearly. I'll help you finish." They work side by side until dusk, pitching hay, not speaking. But something has shifted. His shoulder brushes hers once, accidental. Neither pulls away. Spring breaks hard and sudden, the way it does in this country. Snow melts into mud, mud into green. Sarah watches the land transform from the cabin window, watches Daniel transform with it. He's outside before dawn now, turning earth for a garden. She brings him coffee one morning, stands at the edge of the plot he's marked with string and stakes. "What will you plant?" she asks. "Depends." He leans on the spade, studies her. "You staying for harvest?" The question is casual. The answer isn't. "I don't know." That's honest. He drives the spade in again. "Potatoes then. Carrots. Things that keep through winter, whether you're here or not." She kneels, touches the dark earth. It's warm, alive, smelling of rot and renewal. "I could help." Could. "I've never planted anything." Neither had I, first time. He crouches beside her, not quite touching. "My wife taught me. Said anything worth having requires you put something in the ground and wait. Trust it'll grow, even when you can't see it yet." Sarah's fingers curl into the soil. "What if it doesn't?" "Then you plant again next year. That's how it works." They work through the morning, side by side. He shows her how deep to set the seed potatoes, how far apart. His hands are scarred from years of rough work, gentle now with the tender shoots. She watches the way he handles growing things, with the same careful respect he's shown her. At midday, they rest in the shade of the cabin. He's brought bread and cheese, water still cold from the well. They eat in comfortable silence. "I need to tell you something," she says finally. He waits. "The man who—" She stops, starts again. "He's in Helena, works for the railroad, has a wife there, children." Daniel's jaw tightens, but he says nothing. "If I go to the law, it's my word against his. A hotel maid against a railroad man. You know how that ends." I know. I can't win that fight. She stares at her hands, earth still under her nails. But I can stop running from it. Stop letting him make me small. What do you need? To stay. She looks at him directly. Not hiding. Not as your charity case. As... She searches for the word. As Sarah, he finishes. Woman who works this land same as me. Woman who has a right to be here. Yes. Then that's what you are. He stands, offers his hand to help her up. She takes it. His palm is warm, calloused, steady. Come on, we've got more to plant before dark. They work until sunset paints the sky purple and gold. The garden is half finished, neat rows waiting for seeds. Tomorrow they'll plant beans. The day after, squash. Inside, Sarah makes dinner, while Daniel washes at the basin. The cabin smells of coffee and wood smoke, and the yeast bread rising on the windowsill. Small domesticity, profound in its ordinariness. I've been thinking about that second room, he says, drying his hands. You don't need to. Not for propriety. He hangs the towel carefully. For you. Space, that's yours. A door you can lock if you want. Choice in whether I come in or stay out. Her chest tightens. Daniel, I'm not asking for anything, he says quickly. Just offering. You've lived your whole life in rooms where someone else held the key. Thought maybe you'd want one where you hold it. She's quiet for a long moment. I would. Then I'll start building next week. They eat stew and bread, talking little. But when she reaches for her water cup, her hand brushes his. This time, her fingers linger for a heartbeat before pulling away. That night, she doesn't wake screaming. She wakes to moonlight through the window, to the sound of Daniel's steady breathing from his bedroll by the stove. The cabin is warm. The land outside is quiet. Seeds rest in dark earth, waiting. She thinks of her mother's voice. Be careful. Be small. Don't trust. She thinks of Daniel's wife's words, spoken through him. That's not living. That's just slow dying. In the darkness, Sarah makes her choice. Not to stay because she has nowhere else to go, but because here, in this spare cabin with this quiet man, she's learning to be large again, to take up space, to trust the planting season. Outside, the wind carries the scent of turned earth and possibility. Morning will come. They'll plant beans. The day after, squash. And Sarah will be here to see them grow.